buy in the National League is $7.10.
All right.
Yeah.
It averages out to $4.88 for box seats. But you're talking about a family of 5 going to see baseball, general admission, for around $10 and a half bucks. Go to the Spectrum and you're talking about just yourself getting in.
Yeah.
For that price.
That's right.
And
the television, right?
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why maybe Dave Cowan's quit early in this season, because the way he plays when the Celtics winning the championship last year, he just couldn't get himself physically ready, I think, for the season. I think he was just fatigued coming into the season. I think that was part of his problem.
Oh, sure, a 2-month playoff, that's what it amounts to. I mean, it would be, if it ended on June the 5th, got to remember around September the 5th, they start back again. And if it did go the full amount to June 18th, you're talking about 6 weeks.
Especially in a sport with basketball, where
yeah, when it's so strenuous.
Conditioning is so supreme.
Yeah, I think it really is bad.
Yeah, and as far as the Reds 2-4 record, I think you can figure out their team batting average for the first 6 games, and that's why they're 2-4. Their team batting average is .219, and the exception of that San Diego game where they scored 12 runs against them. The games they've been having, they would have won last year. They'd probably be 4-2 and 5-1.
Right.
So I think it's their hitting is the reason that they're like that.
Well, and you know that'll come on.
One last thing I'd like to leave you with. We all know that Berlin Munson's a much better hitter than Johnny Bench, but he's not the best hitting catcher in baseball, in my opinion. That goes to Ted Simmons. So I think I'll create a little more controversy here.
There you go.
Okay, good talking to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Email Sports on time, 747. Hey.
you were talking about Steve Rickey before you left out Toronto's dead off.
Oh, he's been going out of his mind.
He's got 3 homers, really. He's just bringing up the league. I know it's early, but he looks really impressive.
Yeah, and how about this guy Mitchell Page, 2 homers today?
Yes. The Rickies are really doing a good job this year.
Right.
You're talking about Charlie Finley, and I truly believe that the reason that he's kept that team in Oakland is because of his hate of Bowie Kuhn.
Yeah.
He would rather die than move that team to Washington and get Kuhn off the hook.
Yeah. Well, that may be so, but I'll tell you, to me, when that's your motive, there's something a little wrong.
Well, it's a hate. They really do dislike each other.
Oh, yes, and
there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
You can check in Oakland's figures this year. They've only drawn a picture of 5,000 for a doubleheader, and they drew 2,000 last night.
I know.
So the only reason that he would want to keep that team in there is because so there'd be a lot of pressure on Bowie Kuhn.
That's why I say business-wise, it is not good. From the standpoint of dollars and cents, it's very bad.
Well, at the beginning of the year, when they had a good team, they could not even draw.
That's
So
right.
there was no doubt this year that they might be good, but they're very obscure baseball team except for 2 or 3 players.
That's true.
And there's no doubt that the Oakland fans were not going to turn out, especially with high baseball prices.
That's right.
So I figure that it's got to be Charlie Finley will not move that club. Somebody will have to buy him out.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to do at the end of this year anyway, or he's going to go good, keeping that baseball club in Oakland.
That's true. Absolutely.
All right, so I just wanted to clear that up for you. I thought.
Okay. Good to talk to you. Right, bye-bye. WDBO Sports on, good evening.
How you doing, Bill?
Hey.
The CBS broadcasting a basketball game Friday night?
Yes, doesn't say which one.
Is it going to be shown on 6?
Yep. And according to the paper it is, and I'm going by that rather than, I imagine it will be because they said they were going to, and they of course telecast the last regular season game.
Right.
So apparently they're going to take the playoff games that are offered.
That's great.
I know, I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, good chance could be the Celtics because they play in San Antonio on Friday night it's just about prime too, I think 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Oh, they don't play them before that?
No, I think Friday night's the next game.
Oh, well, yeah, they will. They'll be playing where? At San Antonio?
San Antonio, right.
That's true. So I don't think they'll have any problem in it. They might not win the away game, but with the extra home game, there's no problem there.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it. I just found out today that this is for the right to play the 76ers.
That's right.
So that's going to be, if they make it, that should be a pretty good series.
Yeah, I think it moves to a best of 5 round in the second round.
Best of 5, is it?
I believe the second round.
I thought it was a full 7.
Huh?
I think it's a full
7.
No wonder it goes to June 18th. They go all the way. Oh, brother.
I mean, if they play, for example, a team like the Celtics, they could play another 24 games.
Yeah.
Possibly if they were to go all the way through and have a full 70.
Well, I'll tell you something. I think that is terribly, terribly debilitating on the players.
It is. I think that that's only had a point before. It's just there's not enough layoff. It's 6 weeks later, you're back to practice. That's unbelievable.
That's right.
If you made the finals.
There's no sport that's anything like it.
No, it's
Outside of if you play it 2 frontons in highlight, that's about it.
I thought Charlie Scott had a super night last night.
Yes, he sure did.
And, I haven't played together that much. Like there's always been someone injured, but I'm just hoping that, I think we'll give the 76ers a pretty hard time, but I don't think we'll beat them. I think it might go 6 or possibly even 7.
Yeah.
And by the way, I saw Dawkins for the first time this year on Sunday, and he looks like he's gone about 20 pounds.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot heavier, and he still is having defensive problems.
He reminds me a lot physically of Willis Reed.
Yeah, that's true.
Very similar to Willis Reed.
Not quite Wayne Embry, but more like Willis Reed.
Right. Did you see the Flyers got beat down?
Well, I knew that was going to happen, and I'll tell you exactly why. They were sitting around complaining about the layoff and telling themselves they were going to be rusty when they got on the ice. And the first 10 minutes of the game, they lost the game. From then on, it was all them, but it was too late.
Well, I think they'll
I'm sure that they'll pull it out. I feel almost certain that they'll pull out the best of 5 series, and I think that they will get by Toronto, but it's not going to be that easy.
Well, I don't think. I still hope the Bruins make the finals, so I think they got a pretty good shot at this year.
Yes, they do.
I bet Decker said it's going to be Montreal in all probability.
Yeah.
And the Red Sox are off and flying this year.
Well, it's early.
Yeah, but wow.
I know. I'm sitting there the same way with the Phils, and I see they're going with Randy Lurch tonight, so I'm looking for a 0 and 4 after the evening. I'll see y'all, buddy. Bye-bye. WDBO Sports on. Good evening.
Hey, Bill?
Yeah.
Is there going to be anybody carrying the ice hockey playoffs this year?
No.
This year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude.
No telecast, only local telecast. No network carries it, period.
Is that right?
Yeah. Sports line, good evening.
Good evening. Could you tell me any information as to what top high school basketball prospects have signed?
I have almost no signing information. The wire has been complete. I don't have a separate sports wire here, and that's where it passes, except for certain individuals, and there's been very little. There's been nothing today.
Has the national date passed that they can sign?
You mean the letter of intent?
Right, the national.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm really not sure.
Right. Well, this boy from astronaut, he's definitely going to Florida.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Okay, well, that's what I wanted to know. Maybe I can get something from you next week sometime.
Okay, you bet.
Thank you.
Right, bye-bye. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Hello, Bill.
Hello, you're on.
Yes, I'd like to have a clarification on the infield fly rule.
All right.
Could you give it to me?
Sure. An infield fly rule happens when you have less than 2 out, right? And let's say you have runners on first and second, and the ball is hit in an area where an infielder can catch it. Mm-hmm. You see, it doesn't have to be within the actual confines of the infield. It can be a little beyond it. But it can be where an infielder can catch it. Then the batter is called out automatically, and the runners can advance at their own risk.
What about if bases are loaded?
Bases are loaded, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 2 outs, a runner on first and second, or all 3 bases.
Right.
And
wherever there's a force out involved, yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye. And we have time for another call or so, and that's about it on our sports line for this evening. Mike Miller will be up next immediately after our commentary. And if we do have time to take one more call, the big news today, I'll run down the baseball scores again. The Athletics, led by Mitchell Page with 2 homers, beat the California Angels 9-3. Toronto Blue Jays won yet another game, 76 over the Tigers. The White Sox down the Red Sox 7-3. In the National League, the Cards beat the Mets 7-3, and the Pirates beat Montreal 3-0. Steve Spurrier has gone from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and been replaced by Gary Huff. WDBO Sportsline, good evening.
Right, people have been talking about P.K. Wrigley, how he was a great baseball man.
Yeah.
The way I see it, sports are for the fans.
Yes, I agree.
Now, there's been a lot of talk about stinks for baseball, this, free agency and money going around, and baseball's going to die. But Wrigley is a great man. And that's it. Wrigley hasn't had a pennant come to Chicago in 32 years.
Yes.
Starman advisor club that is floundering in the basement. And he brings it back to respectability. Now, a chance for world championship. A pennant in 2 years he owns the club. I think, as a fan, I'd rather have Steinbrenner.
Well, and when it comes to building winners, despite his charisma, what about Charlie Finley?
Sure, Charlie Finley, right. But the thing is, he's not carrying through with the fan business.
No,
Charlie Finley wants.
And Charlie Finley has a very bad fan relationship. Apparently, our people would come to see his baseball team, and I can't believe it's because, now of course last year different, but before that, it was because they weren't enamored with the baseball club's performance, because how do you beat 3 World Series? And so it's got to be something. Granted, the competition with having the Giants across the bay, I still think that if a great love of the club had been built for the Oakland Athletics, population notwithstanding, they would have gone a lot better.
Right.
I really do. But you're right. As far as I'm concerned with Wrigley, I think that economics played a tremendous part in his thought, certainly as far as lights in the field was concerned, and I cannot help but feel that it hurt the Cubs when they go on the road and play night games.
Having lights in the field, that also hurts the fans because people work during the day.
Yeah. Well, Chicago's big enough to have enough night shift people go, but what about the day shift people? They can't go to any weekday games. That's right. You're right.
So, sometimes you want to do something else on the weekend, so it's hard to get to a baseball game.
Yeah.
You want to see maybe more than one a year.
I agree. Gotta go.
All right, take it easy.
And that's it for Sportsline. Once again, thanks to Mike Barry for being with us last night. And another night, Mr. Miller coming up immediately after commentary.
WDBO, Orlando. This is Walter Cronkite reporting with news and commentary on the CBS radio network. President Carter's effort to put a lid on nuclear proliferation is up against some formidable odds. In deferring plutonium reprocessing, the United States has set an example that probably had to be set. But the question is, will it be followed? Human nature and the history of national ambitions offer at best a clouded hope. Some details after this message. When your car needs a tune-up, you need somebody who really cares about fixing it right, right? Well, I care. I need a good wrench. I service General Motors cars and trucks at GM dealerships. That's where you get genuine GM parts. They're the ones built to rigid GM standards just for your GM car. Then, when you decide using the right part, I use all the ones too. A lot of them are designed just for me and your car. But if that weren't enough, I take the time for special training, just to be sure I stay up to snuff on the latest diagnostic and repair techniques. So, you see, I've got the genuine GM parts, the tools, and the training to help you make sure you do get the GM tune-up that's right for your car. Sure, I care. And because I care, I get to wear a special badge that says, Mr. Good Wrench. Keep that right, GM feeling, genuine GM parts.
Well, I think the Flyers are dead.
I tell you what, you better do your race after something. I think everything ought to fill you.
Well, I don't know, because the 76ers haven't started the playoffs yet. And they won't start until the last week of April, but rather about the 20th of April or so. But wow, the way things are going, I don't expect them to win a game.
Well, no, they will.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know what's the matter with the Phillies or Reds.
No, and the Red Sox.
Yeah. Everybody's doing bad.
Well, it's very early, Jimmy.
Yeah.
If it's like that on May the 30th, then I'm really going to get shook.
You don't have the pictures yet on the game.
No, I don't have any line on it yet. Not at all. Oh, wait a minute. I think I can give you the pictures. Wait a minute. No, I don't even have a partial that has the pitching on it. I'll give it during the show.
Where would that ball be?
Now it's hysterical.
You know, I don't say he's going to win his division, but he might finish a lot higher than giving him credit for.
Yes, I'm beginning to wonder. And of course, any club that gets Dick Allen, usually when you get him, at least for the first half of the first season, he plays like a maniac.
Yeah. When you take this King Some Gruber State baseball with Billy Booth and stopping us from selling blues, turn around and let the Yankees flag up to this.
I know.
So, it looked like they were trying to run Charlie out of baseball.
Well, there was a trade there, though.
What?
There were players involved in the Bucky Day.
Oh, there were 6 players involved for Bruce. Plus money.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking about the other one, the other
trade.
Jackson, yeah.
And,
Of course, Jackson was picked up loose.
I think there's something wrong somewhere. Something is kosher, so they're not handling everybody with equal hand.
Yeah, that's right. It seems a bit discriminatory. I agree.
And I don't know if Charlie went back to Portland, if he wouldn't have a pretty good legal basis.
Yeah.
And I think old Billy better look for another job.
Yeah.
Since he got the boy from Texas after now.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was the one that gave over in his job in Brazil.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, I don't think he will be commissioner long.
Now, the Sentinels are playing a doubleheader tomorrow against St. Leo.
No?
And then move in Saturday night and Sunday afternoon in Gainesville.
I'll be darned.
And so, it comes showdown.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Now, if I could just get somebody up there to send some news down the newspaper to Gainesville, lucky fellow get the whole front page of sports page this morning, did you notice?
Sure did. And, there was almost no commentary last night on the Gary Huff, Steve Spurrier deal. I'm very surprised. But I don't think it's worthy of that much commentary, except that I do feel a little sorry for Steve Spurrier.
Also, they covered all 3 sports broadcasts on TV.
That's right.
Tonight.
Okay, Jim, gotta move. We got busy tonight.
Right.
See you, buddy. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Hi, Bill.
Hey.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a hectic week, hasn't it?
Yes, crazy.
Red Sox being overflowed and the Phillies being overflowed.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Who knows when they'll win their first one?
Huh?
Who knows when they'll win their first
Well,
one?
I hope it comes before May the 1st.
Right. I want to say something about something Tony said. I think it was Monday night.
Yeah?
And he said, he was talking about the Red Sox Phil Campbell, their $1 billion baby, the game there.
Yeah.
Well, who did they think lost the game for the Yankees last Saturday afternoon against Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson was the one that
Right.
was 3 years there that cost them the 3 runs.
Absolutely.
And so I just thought I'd call in and, straighten that out a little bit because he's jumping out Bill Campbell, but he still has to mention about Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really all I had to say. I just had to call in and get that in.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Bye-bye now. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Hi, Bill.
Hey.
Hi, how are you doing?
Okay.
I called you last night about Bro.
Yeah?
And, were you just cut off from your last talker or what?
No.
Oh, I thought you were. Anyhow, I seen he went 2 for 2, and I got him down. I don't know if have you ever seen him play, Bill?
Wayne Gross?
Yeah.
No, of course not.
No. Well, maybe something to look at. The kid weighs 200. He's 6'2". That's left. Throws right.
Right, he had quite a
Yeah, he
technical
had 19 home runs, 76 RBIs. They batted something like 320 or something, with 2 sides.
Yes.
So, here's one for Bernie anyhow. The Yankees come home against Milwaukee for 3, and then they go to Toronto for 4. So if we don't cause any damage there, then I think we're going to be in trouble, But anyhow, I wanted to call you about this. The Yankees got that, they got Stanley on the bench, and I think it was Marty Perez they got to
Right.
Atlanta and San Francisco deal.
Right, Dent finally got some big hits last night.
Yeah, well, that's fine. He got a double off, so your last caller said something about Jackson blowing it. He's going to blow a few, but I'm hoping that with his wielding bat, if he ever gets away from the home run ball, he's going to win a few for us, too,
Yeah.
If he doesn't go where the grass don't grow all the time, he'll win a few ball games for us.
There you go.
But this Dent here, I really, I don't know. I look at the stats he had for last year, and then Marty Perez, I think Marty Perez batted a little better, same RBIs, batting average a little higher than Bucky Dent.
And fewer errors.
There's fewer errors, so I don't, I remember the name popping up. I mean, as you know, I'm a Yankee fan, but I follow a lot of the other clubs, and I followed, White Sox. I look at him every day, but
Sure.
I don't know. This Dent, I know he made the All-Star team, what was it, 2-3 years ago?
Right.
But, well, I guess Billy Martin's just seeing what he can do right now, because he paid a lot of, what, he paid $135,000 a year for him.
Yes, that's right.
But, I don't know, myself, I think, well, we'll see. Maybe he'll go with the guy, maybe he'll Stanley a chance,
Right.
Anyhow, nothing on Phipps, right, from Cleveland?
No?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I guess nobody wants the kid. Like I told you and Tracy 3 years ago, the guy doesn't have it. He's no Gracie. And, well, maybe somebody will latch on to him. Well, have a good night tonight, huh?
Okay, all buddy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye. WDBO Sports on time is 7:15.
Brand Distributors Catalog Showrooms announce the garage sale. Tremendous savings throughout the store. Reductions in every department. Shop Brand. Orlando, Altamont Springs, now through Monday.
You're listening to Rock 100, WDIZ, in stereo and Matrix Quad. Many games. I think percentage possibly he was. I don't know. Now he might have led despite his being out that long, and I think he led in block shots. And he might have led in rebound, but I don't have the final stats in front of me. And, but certainly his percentage was super because when he was in there, he did quite a job.
And my next question was going to be, who was leading score?
That now was Pete Maravich, I believe.
Yeah, I think he could probably do that right there. And, when you were talking just at the beginning of your program about the 76ers,
Yeah.
well, I don't really know about that. They're probably going to be pretty good in the playoffs. They're going to give everybody a tough time.
Well, they figure to be. Actually, what I was saying was that everybody, all the teams back in Philly seem to be having a lot of trouble, such as the Flyers, and the Phil's getting started, and the Flyers are all but eliminated in their first round by Toronto, a team that they handled pretty well during the season. So, now I'll tell you one thing that did hurt the Flyers very badly, although this is not a real excuse, but a very beloved member of their staff, Barry Ashby, who was with their first championship team, was taken to the hospital yesterday, or rather he was diagnosed as having leukemia, and I know that it hurt the team's morale badly because I heard the pregame last night, and those guys were really down. They really were down. They just felt very badly about it. And I mean, if you're a professional, you should be able to play anyway, but this possibly was a factor in their very poor play last night.
Okay, thank you.
Right. WDBO Sports on, good evening.
Well,
Yeah.
how's my friend Charlie Finley and Oakland doing?
Boy, they're tearing up the league.
I hope that, let me turn my radio down here a minute.
Yeah.
I hope that they make it.
That would be
I'm a Yankee fan, but like I told you one time before, you get a bunch of them rookies together and you ain't got one of them $1 million guys in there that is sort of snowing you all the time. Why?
they're hungry, right.
Yeah, I hope they make it. If they may help baseball a heck of a lot.
Yeah, it would be phenomenal
I've
indeed.
been to the Yankees for years, and I guess I still am deep down in my heart, but I'd like the Oakland just swamp them.
That would be funny. Well, they won again today.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I think that they may not win it, but they're going to cause some stirring, I think.
That they are, and they're getting it from some likely people and also some rookies this year.
Yeah, well, like I say, if you get a bunch of them rookies and it ain't making but bread and butter and they want to make a few dollars too, if you get a bunch of them on the team and you don't have a Jackson and a Munson and 4 or 5 of them other $1 million ones on there, you know, to cause dissension and trouble and so forth. Not that they do, but some do, some don't.
Well, not necessarily causing dissension, but there has to be feeling unless everybody practically on the payroll is getting a very large salary.
Well, you get a bunch of rookies anyway, or not rookies, because they've been playing get more nervous.
Yeah, that's true.
But how do you make it?
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Yes, Bill. You know, along the line of these superstars get so much money to basketball and football and baseball and everything.
Yeah.
You know who supports these athletes, don't you?
Well, the people come out to see the game.
Exactly, and if the prices keep going up, like I think the Yankees went up, 50 cents a seat, and you know what's going to happen, don't you?
Well, after a while, they will get a little priced out of the market. You're right.
No, there's not going to be no more athletic supporters.
That's what we used to say when the Athletics were in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Now, incidentally, speaking about admission prices, I'm going to do a little rundown one of these times on admission prices and how very much they vary from team to team, mainly because there are certain extremely select seats in certain ballparks that command a very large sum of money. But basically, in almost any ballpark in the country, you still can get a decent seat in the ballpark for $3 to $4. If you're really exclusive, why then, of course, you get up into the $7 section, which I believe you have in San Francisco. I think San Francisco has the most expensive seats in baseball. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. WDBO Sports Line, good evening.
Yeah, first on Bucky Dent. People, wondering, about his batting average and everything, and the fact that he didn't have the greatest defensive year last year. But 2 years ago, he led shortstop in the league in fielding average, and then after that, they switched the second baseman to the outfield and third base. They kept switching them all over, and they were using the whole slew of second baseman there.
Yeah.
And Dent never could get his fielding down, and also, hurt him at the plate, also being with Chicago hurt him at the plate, I think anyway.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you frankly, though, let me say one thing, that I think that if Bucky Dent could not, were slightly injured or something like that, they would not be hurting terribly by putting Marty Perez in the lineup, or for that matter, Stanley. I don't think that Bucky Dent is that far.
Better second baseman.
Huh?
Perez is better second baseman than he is a shortstop.
Well, he has played actually almost as much over the last 3 years. He's played 3 positions in the infield over the last 3 years, not much less at third base, of course, but he is not a bad shortstop, and he is not a bad hitter, and for my money, he's a slightly better hitter than Bucky Dent, and I don't think that they're going to be hurting at all.
Well, the other things also is like Perez probably won't be there the whole year, and if he is, he won't be there at the end of the year because he wants like $200,000 a year.
Yeah, well.
And there's no way you should get that.
You can't blame him for trying. A lot of other guys are.
In my eyes, Perez isn't even a starter.
Don't forget, Randall was making $80,000 with his credentials.
Yeah. Well, as far as Oakland winning it all this year,
wow.
Even if they did, it's ludicrous to even think that, because they're rookies, that there's going to be some magic in them. They're going to win it all, and they'll just ask for the prices that Munson and Jackson are at.
Well, I'll tell you something about the Oakland Athletics. They are, contrary to a lot to popular belief and commentary, I'm going to name some guys on this team, and you see if you think they're rookies. Bill North, okay?
Yeah.
First, Dick Allen, who they added since. These are not rookies at all. It is not a total rookie team by any means.
No, but second,
but they're not going to win.
They're rookies.
And they're not going to win their division because they won't keep this up. They don't have any depth.
But if they did, they'd just be asking money, and they'd be gone from Finley again. So it wouldn't make a difference what they did. And everyone that could ask for money, it's not going to change. And as far as the prices going up, I think the prices for Yankee tickets have gone up 50 cents overall for all the different seats.
Right.
Since I was a kid. And the candy bar has gone up 10 cents from 5 cents to 15 cents.
Yeah.
Now, look at the inflation. You can't expect them to charge $5 the rest of the years,
No, I know.
This is 2040. It's not going to be that way. It's going to go up just like everything else goes up, and they have the right to bring it up.
But if we do get to the point where they have to charge, say, within 3 years, $10 for a ticket, it's going to be rough. I don't mean just the I mean all of baseball.
it'll never happen unless, inflation goes up that much. But,
Well,
as far as that, you would make more money, so it won't be any difference, really.
yeah. You mean if they say get 30,000 instead of 35 at $10, why they're going to be making more than they were at 6?
Right.
Okay. See you, Pops.
Right, bye.